and my wife, we were thrilled to have found our dream house, even if it was a bit spooky. We moved in with our son and began to settle into our new home. One night, however, something happened that we could not ignore. As we were getting ready for bed, our son suddenly started screaming, "There's a monster in my room." I could tell he was restless. He kept glancing nervously towards the window as if he was afraid of something lurking in the shadows outside. I asked him what was wrong, but he just shook his head and buried himself deeper into his blankets. Then he spoke up, his voice barely above a whisper. "Daddy, can you check for monster under my bed?" I rolled my eyes, trying to hide my amusement at his childish fears. I said, "Of course, buddy," getting down on my hands and knees to peer beneath the bed. But what I saw there chilled me to the bone. There, crouched in the shadows, was another version of my son, identical in every way, right down to his pajamas and tousled hair. But this version of my son was different. His eyes were dark and hollow, and his skin was pale and clammy. He was staring back at me, quivering and whispering in a voice that sounded like nails on a chalkboard. "Daddy, there's someone on my bed," he whispered, his eyes never leaving mine. I stumbled back, scrambling to get to my feet. My heart was pounding in my chest. I recoiled in horror and quickly pulled my son out of bed and into my arm. My wife rushed into the room, sensing something was wrong, and was shocked to see the duplicate son under the bed. We quickly left the house, realizing that the discounted price we paid for it was not worth the terror that we had just experienced. We never returned to the house, and the memory of the duplicate son haunted us for years to come. We never spoke of it again, but we knew that we had narrowly escaped from something truly horrifying. As soon as we moved into our new house, me and my family, we were eager to explore and start making it our own. We were excited to have a fresh start and begin creating new memories in this beautiful home. One day, while exploring the basement, we noticed a locked door that we hadn't seen before. We were curious about what could be behind it, so we tried several keys until finally we found one that fit and opened the door. As soon as we stepped inside the small room, we were surprised to find that it had no windows and an old, dusty chair in the corner. We were puzzled as we had never seen this room on the house plans. We wondered why the previous owner had hidden this room from us. We began to search for clues, but found nothing. As we were sitting there, we heard a creaking sound, and suddenly the door slammed shut, locking us in. Panic set in as we tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. We heard a strange whispering voice, and our hearts raced with fear. We didn't know what was happening, and we were terrified. I kicked the door with the force of all mine and broke the door. So we finally managed to escape, but the experience left us shaken. We quickly realized that the previous owner had died in the house, and no one knew about this secret room. We didn't know what to make of it, but we knew we would never enter that room again. We were convinced that the room was haunted and that something was trying to communicate with us. In the end, we decided to keep the door locked and forget about the room's existence. It remained a mystery to us, and we didn't want to unravel the secrets hidden within its walls. We learned to accept that our new home had its secrets, and it was up to us to live with them. I remember the day we moved into our new house on the outskirts of town. It was a beautiful, brand new house with high ceilings, gleaming hardwood floors, and large windows that let in plenty of natural light. It was everything we had ever wanted in a home, and we were excited to start our new life there. But as the days went on, strange things began to happen. Doors would creak open on their own, even when we had locked them securely. Footsteps could be heard echoing through the empty halls at night, even though no one was there, and every now and then a cold draft would blow through the house, despite the fact that all the windows were closed. At first, we tried to convince ourselves that it was just our imagination, but as time went on, the occurrences became more and more frequent. I began to feel like I was being watched, even when I was alone in the house, and one night as I was sleeping, I heard a strange whispering voice that seemed to be coming from inside the walls. Things only got worse from there. I began to experience vivid nightmares where I was pursued by shadowy figures that seemed to be lurking in the corners of the house. And every morning I would wake up to find that objects had been moved or rearranged, as though some unseen force had been moving them around in the middle of the night. I grew more and more anxious with each passing day until I couldn't take it anymore. I called in a team of paranormal investigators to investigate the house, and what they found was chilling. The investigators discovered that the house had been built on the site of an old cemetery, and that the spirits of the dead had never been properly laid to rest. I was living in a haunted house, and there was nothing I could do to escape the restless spirits that roamed the halls. In the end, we were forced to abandon the house, never to return again. Even now, years later, I still shiver when I think about that terrifying time in my life. I learned the hard way that sometimes the things we cannot see are the things that haunt us the most.